Hello everyone, welcome to episode 3, where I'd like to introduce you to someone very influential on my poker journey. So this person has been on my poker journey through many a high, many a low. We're always talking with one another, talking strategy, talking poker hands. I'm bettering his game, he's bettering my game. Yeah, he's definitely been an influential part of my poker journey in the past and in the future. But before I introduce him more formally, first it calls for rock, paper, scissors for the beers.
Round 1. Fight!
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Off you go, off you trot, mate. There you go. How's it feel to be a loser, mate?
Early days. We're playing poker later as well.
We're playing poker later. The home game later.
Yeah, so it's off to a good start.
Off to a good start. This is the guy that actually bluffed me with Queen Jack and said he is going to be the one to make it as difficult a session for me as possible. So thank you for coming down. I think you were the one and only person I'd think of bringing down to have as my influential person in my poker journey. So,
well, definitely vice versa. Like, I know the whole reason why I got into poker was because of you. When we moved into a flat 3 years ago.
Yeah,
you got me into poker and introduced me to watching poker videos, watching Doug Polk and.
So to give a bit of context for everyone, starting the home game in the last episode, I started it with my brother 2.5 years ago. He was actually working at the pub at the time, and he thought, you know what, poker, why not? You know, why would you not chuck poker in the mix? So from there, you started to learn the game a little bit. A couple of months in, you really started to learn the game, started to take it a bit more seriously, and saw it as a bit of a...
And actively studying.
Yeah.
Actively reading books and making an effort to knowing about what ranges I should be opening, knowing about what happens in certain spots when people are short stacked or bigger stacked. When you're 20 to 40 big blinds deep is fundamentally completely different when you're 200 to 400 big blinds deep. So.
Yeah. One thing that I've definitely noticed is when you first started playing poker, and don't take this as a criticism by any stretch, but you were not as good as you were now, and I mean by a long, long stretch.
Of course not.
You were making cool downs every hand with third, fourth pair and thinking, why wasn't I good?
I think even now I still don't have a fold button, but back then it was even worse. So.
The most aggressive player you'll ever play against, but also the luckiest player you'll ever play against.
How many horseshoes do you say I have on my ass at this point?
You've got at least 4 horseshoes.
4 horseshoes.
Putting crevices
6 4-leaf clovers.
Putting crevices that I don't know. I don't even know where you keep them all. But yeah, you're very lucky, but you apply, and one thing that you do much better than I ever have is apply aggression really well. You're very consistent with your aggression, and that's something that you taught yourself. It's not something that I've taught.
I think that's just been called always on tilt. There's always a rebuy option, even when there's not.
There's always a side game somewhere.
Yeah, it's even if I lose in a tournament, I'm sure there's a cash game going somewhere.
One thing that's definitely developed from the early stages of us, talking about poker, you getting involved in your poker society at your university, which you're really heavily ingrained in now. We do a lot more hand analysis and strategy with one another. We kind of directly message one another and say, this is how I played a hand. What do you think? And it's almost kind of free reins and just give your honest opinion.
Yeah.
You don't say the outcome until your thoughts are given on the hands.
Yeah. I know when I started, I would just come to you and be like, Thomas, let me tell you about this bad speech story that I had.
Yeah.
Did you know I ran kings into queens and lost? And I was like, yeah, that happens to everyone.
Yeah.
But now it's a lot more about, okay, this is a genuine spot I found myself in. And I know I spoke to you. We both went to play the Goliath. In that tournament, I had a bunch of spots first day where I ran past it with you and I ran past it with a lot of my friends from uni, part of the poker society there. And I think that is such a great way of improving your game. Or not even so much because you want to say like, okay, I'll play it better next time. It's about knowing and finding out other perspectives of how you would play that hand. And
yeah, and I agree. Having people to go to definitely has improved my game. Before I started, really talking to you about poker and getting you really involved in poker, I had friends at university that really I could bounce my thoughts and ideas off of, and it did definitely help. But seeing other people's perspectives towards hands gives you an insight as to how other people might be playing hands, because sometimes I find that poker players can be very narrow-minded in what they think people can have, and almost they think if I've got this hand in this situation, it's always a call. It's almost breaking that cycle and thinking, if I'm not actually ahead, why am I calling? And if I've got an inkling that it's not always about pot odds, and it's not always about I'm getting the right price to call, it's, do I think I'm ahead? How can I win the hand? Is there a way that I can win the hand? Those sorts of thought processes. Should we take the rest of this to another pub?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go. We're at destination 2, so it's only right to do what we did the first time around. Rock, paper, scissors. Come on, boy.
Rock, paper, scissors.
When you try your best, but you don't succeed.
Winning already. That's what I'm talking about.
I am not running well. I'm not running well.
Not running well. Thank you anyway.
Cheers.
Cheers. So I think it's only right to maybe talk about our poker past in terms of how we've been a part of each other's journeys over the past 2.5 years. So obviously introducing you is one side of things, but as you've developed more of an interest for the game, you've got more and more ingrained in poker, you're enjoying it a lot more, and you've put yourself to challenges. We've gone to tournaments, haven't we? We're part of quite a few groups that give you insight as to the poker tournaments that happen sort of on a daily, weekly basis. For anyone in the UK, I'll put a link in the description of the Facebook page that we use. They're really, really good. So yeah, we've gone to a couple of tournaments. We've played the Goliath twice, 2 years running now, which is £125 buy-in. Prize pool of 100,000 is guaranteed for first, £125 buy-in. So those are the sorts of tournaments that we generally play with one another a couple of times a year, 3-4 times a year.
We went to play a 4-5-6 PLO.
That was a fun tournament.
In Reading.
That was a fun tournament. It's always so fun when you win, but yeah. And yeah, for us, I don't think it's, we're not, I think I played for years and years and years. I was grinding out cash tables for 10 hours a day, some points, 4, 5, 6 times a week. You've never really done that, have you?
No.
For me, I think you've helped my transition of going from, I still play online, but you've transitioned my love for poker from online to live poker, where we'll go play a cash game every once in a while. We do the home game, which we love. We've got a really good group of guys that we play poker with every week. But for you and I, it's more of a spectacle now. It's not an everyday thing. It's not an every week thing even at times. It's, once a month, once every 2 months, a couple of times a year, whatever fits within our schedules, we play as and when we want to. It's now more of a getaway thing for us to do. I still got massive passion for the game, and I still study it, I still watch videos, I still, I'm not playing poker as much as I used to. So I do have a little bit of a confession to make. This boy here has been helping me with quite a bit of filming and editing throughout the whole process from video 1, and he will probably continue to help me with the rest of the videos. So thank you for that. I've got to kind of give you a shout out at least. I think it's the right thing to do.
I hope you like the SpongeBob bit.
I think everyone liked the SpongeBob thing. But, we all on that platinum pass. But, as I said, it's a Wednesday, home game day. Got to go take his money, so...
I've already got you 2 pints. I've already got you 2 pints.
Yeah, 2 pints. I've got to win now, so... I'll be the person to knock you out. That's the way that it's got to be. So, thank you everyone for being a part of it. This boy is still on my poker journey. I got you into poker. You're keeping my love of poker in there as well. So, cheers.
Cheers.
Let's go down to the home game. See you later, guys.